so hard on that.
What is up, you beautiful bastards? It is 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means only one thing, that Jukebox Trivia is live. It is dance-off number 7. I am an idiot and did not mute the original video. Holy crap. Wow. Great start to the show.
You didn't what?
This wouldn't happen if Clark was here.
I forgot, yeah. I forgot to turn the volume down on the playback, so I heard like an echo with a 2-second delay, and it's really annoying. But yeah, Dance Off number 7. When we first started Dance Off, I didn't know that I wanted this match, but now that I've seen these competitors debate in various leagues, I now realize that I wanted this match. Matthew Rosa, question writer of Jukebox Trivia, taking on Kaleb Koho. He is the head honcho of fandom fights and among various other things, seems to be. But before we get to our competitors, I have to introduce the judges today. First off, he won a very close match against the vicious Trollop, Jessica Morgan. You can find him on a great episode of Rankum yesterday, MCU movies. That is Malcolm Lay. Malcolm, how are we doing today, and how do you feel about the competitors?
I'm pretty good. Just here scouting who I'm going to be facing next, and definitely looking for a good match.
All right, and we had to leave the back door unlocked for some reason, and I don't think anybody has told me that baseball season's over. He can take off the Red Sox cap and the Red Sox sweater. He is the current Late Night with Take 3 Mini-Speed Debate champion of the Full Metal and Multiplex Fan Trivia communities of the world, even though he won't say it himself, Cody Newberry. Cody, how are you doing, and how do you feel about these competitors you can get out today?
I feel like I wish I would have been able to take on Malcolm versus the winner instead of the winner of you or Luca, because that's rough. Because Malcolm and me, I debate every week, so I think I could actually beat Malcolm, maybe. But I'm terrified for this match. I have headache medicine next to me. I'm possibly going to go get alcohol after this because this match is going to be the loudest one ever. I've said it on paper. Kaleb is always one question away from being dominant and winning. Rosa, on the other hand, is the hardest person I have ever debated in the history of debate leagues. This man could convince people that Hitler was actually not that bad of a guy and believe it himself and sell it on screen. It's terrifying. Kaleb, good luck, especially in this realm, because this is where Rosa resides. So I think Kaleb's got a shot, but Rosa has to be off his game to win.
All right. Now let's get into the minds of our competitors, starting off with the question writer of Jukebox Trivia. He was the last contender of the Trivia Championship himself. He is the minor threat, Matthew Rosa. Matthew, you got here with a very narrow victory in one of my favorite matches in not even trivia and debate leagues, just matches in general. You and Chris Clark. How do you feel about the time that you've had seeing other debates and then going up against the big mouth that is Koho?
I hope you guys are looking forward to Rosa versus Luca 2 at Snowball for the debate title, because we're gonna burn through this bracket. And I'm going to burn through Kaleb Koho right now because Chris Clark was the guy that I was scared of. And I beat him. And Chris Clark was the guy who was passionate enough to where he had those arguments when it came to people like Billy Joel. Although if Cody Newberry had a Billy Joel question, he could bring it. But at the end of the day, I'm happy to play against Koho. But, I mean, let's be honest. My knowledge of music is so much deeper than Kaleb Koho's that this match is going to be interesting, but I think that might end up being a big deciding factor.
Cody already has his hand raised in distaste. Why? The
disrespect. For one, Brooklyn writes questions and debates over in an actual speed round and stuff on late night. So he has to get through Brooklyn first, Luca, to face me. So my pick is Brooklyn versus me, and then you'll have to face one of us next. So
I like that you weren't offended by me making it to the finals. He was only offended by the idea that I suggested Luca would make it to the finals.
Because that means Luca beats me, and that's not happening.
I understand that.
Alrighty, surprisingly quiet since you started the stream. Gonna go to Kaleb Koho next. Kaleb, you were part of the very first dance off. It was a very, very different time back then. Since then, you have gone on to defeat Adam Morales in one of the more interesting matches of the year. How do you feel going up against Matthew Rosa and these questions?
See, this isn't trivia. Your knowledge means jack shit, Rosa. The thing is, this is debate. This is not necessarily what you know. It's about how well you can argue what you think you know. I am probably the biggest wild card of this whole thing because you never know what I can do. I once argued DC Talk as the best album of 1992 and fucking won. All right, so politely shave your freaking dumbass afro and sit your ass down and watch me fucking blow through you until I play Mr. Red Sox McGee for the title. Because we all know, I have been one question away from winning for a long time. And tonight, I am sick and tired of the bullshit finales. And I am going to win because there's a guy that won't take off a Red Sox hat that has a problem with my mustache that I need to put in place. So he needs to handle his business. He needs to beat the foreigners, and I'll beat the wannabe Afro Samurai, and then we'll face off. Because here's the thing. I want Cody. Rosa, you're inconsequential. I'm not overlooking you. You're just inconsequential. Because
I'm really quite sick of the finales too, so I'll just 3-0 you.
A man can only be pushed so far with being held out in front of him. Oh, you can win. Oh, you can win. Oh, you can win. Until somehow Fountains of Wayne is the better is the worst one-hit wonder than someone who was on the charts for 2 weeks. All right. I'm done. Let's do this because I'm tired of losing on the last question.
Promo of the year.
I just want to say, Matt Kearns, you have won the internet this week for your comment. Holy shit! What's that on your face? I can only imagine that's applying to one Kaleb Koho.
Matt,
So I got facial hair too. You could be talking about me.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt. If you're not Rosa Kearns, if you want to ask what's on my face, I'm going to ask where your talent's at, buddy. You couldn't hang for 2 seconds in here with freaking JD West, okay?
All right, then. Let's get right into the debates.
Go back to not watching Arrow Season 1.
The rules of the dance-off are as follows. Each competitor has been given four prep questions at least 24 hours in advance. They have decided to not give away their answers, so this is going to be sort of a blind-ish fight. Each question is going to start off with a minute opening, then a 5-minute free-form where they get to really duke it out. Then they have up to 45 seconds for the closing arguments just to wrap everything up. The two rules are there is no filibustering and there is no touching of the hair or face. Matthew Rosa, because you are the highest rated competitor at 1-0, you don't have a loss. Which two questions would you like to go first on?
Number 2 and number 3.
So, okay, you're going first on number 2 and number 3. Mr. Koho, which question would you like to begin the dance off with?
Ooh. You know, I like question number 2.
So we're starting off on 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go 2, 1, 3, and then 4. All right. So that means Rosa will go first on the first and third question, which are technically questions 2 and 3. All right. So question number 2. This was inspired by a late night work session of listening to music. I was listening to actually a lot of Alan Jackson, and through that I found a really good cover of Margaritaville, which I thought would be a good inspiration for a question. So question number 2, guys, is, if you saw on the Facebook post earlier today, what is the best cover of a country song? Mr. Rosa, you are going first on this particular question. You have 1 minute, and time begins Whenever you start talking.
It is a bright, sunny morning. You have been at Woodstock for 3 days now, and you have been waiting to see Jimi Hendrix. Out he steps onto the stage, and after finishing up his beautiful rendition of the national anthem, he kicks into a cover of Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower. One of the most important covers in musical history, not just of a country song is it the best cover, it is the best cover in musical history. It is endlessly important. It showed that you could take a song that was brilliantly written, but was short and didn't have much to it, and turn it into a full-blown rock anthem that has been played and covered by countless other artists who aren't covering the Bob Dylan version, but are actually covering the Jimi Hendrix cover. A lot of people think it's a Jimi Hendrix song. This cover has transcended what it means to be a cover of a country song and has become a rock staple, a classic. You can hear it on classic rock radio every day.
Time. Excellent. I also forgot there's a third unwritten rule, the Jessica Morgan rule. I should not have to say time more than twice. So, Mr. Koho, you now have 1 minute opening. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, so when I think of country, I'm not a huge fan of country. There's not a lot of great country things out there. There's one song that is probably one of the best country songs ever written, called Elvira by the Oak Ridge Boys. And they do an okay job. It's a fun song. It's upbeat. But there is an a cappella group from Minnesota that has been catching fire over the last year because they went and found the Oak Ridge Boys and did Elvira a cappella with a lot of country sounds in it, and it is amazing. The song it layers the harmonies. There is a competition between the basses in the song naturally to see who can hit lower notes, and it is astounding. The thing about that Bob Dylan Jimi Hendrix song is that that song's not good to begin with. Bob Dylan is an okay songwriter at best. And the thing is, I don't even consider Bob Dylan that much of a country artist, more of a folk artist, and that's why this is more of a legit country cover, and that's why it's better and more fun to watch. I get more of a rush listening to this than listening to Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock when I'm zoinked at 3 a.m.
Time. All right. Interesting. All right, gentlemen, 5 minute freeform. You will be getting a 1 minute warning when it's coming to a close. So, let's get it on.
Oh, how I desperately awaited you to play into my hand like that. Bob Dylan is in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Are the Oak Ridge Boys in the Country Music Hall of Fame? No. So therefore, your argument about him being more of a folk artist is a moot point. And to say that All Along the Watchtower is not a brilliantly written song, it is a song that literally goes on forever.
Okay, but you literally just said, hold on. Afro face, shut your face. Okay, you literally just said All Along the Watchtower was not that good of a song until Jimi Hendrix covered it.
No. I said that the version that Bob Dylan performed was underdeveloped. Sir. I said it was underdeveloped. I never said that it wasn't a good song. You have selective hearing. And you are literally, you didn't even list the name of the group of the cover you're talking about, yet you want to say that it is the best cover, period, of any country song in the entire history of American music. Are you high? You're probably zoinked, and it's not 3 a.m. yet.
I mean, you want me to go to Woodstock and listen to a guy that's good at guitar and can't sing at 3 a.m. Here's the thing about All Along the Watchtower. It's a better rock song than it is a country song, but you lose the entire aspect of what a country song is when you turn it that way. You basically said, the original song doesn't matter. It's underdeveloped. I don't care about it. I like what this guy did with this song and basically created an entirely new song that isn't All Along the Watchtower. It took the name All Along the Watchtower and threw out what you like about that country song entirely. Underdeveloped is the same thing as bad. It's not as good as it could have been. Jimi Hendrix took the song, turned it into something entirely different, and it's no longer a country song. It's nothing. Well, the Oak Ridge Boys coming back to do one of their best songs with a group that loves it and made something entirely new out of it. An energetic, upbeat, completely different take on it that is more fun to listen to and more upbeat and peppy.
This is literally the most absurd argument I have ever heard. You are implying that because your version is more upbeat and it becomes a better song, what is Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower when compared to Bob Dylan?
Talk about selective
it is more
hearing.
upbeat.
Talk about selective hearing. hearing, Rosa.
It is
Oh my
more
God.
upbeat. It is a more upbeat song.
I did not
it
say
turns
more
from
upbeat makes it a better song.
country
I said more
classic to
upbeat
a rock
improves it.
anthem.
More upbeat
And
makes it
when
more,
the
makes it more
Nobel
fun
Committee-
to listen to. That is inherently what a song is. If you make it
When
upbeat,
the
it's a little bit more
Nobel
fun to listen to.
Committee
That's how
was
music
awarding,
works.
when the Nobel Committee was awarding Bob Dylan his Nobel Prize, they cited 3 songs: "Tangled Up in Blue," "Like a Rolling Stone," and "All Along the Watchtower." Now, one of
And
your
you know why they
arguments
gave him
is
that
that
one?
it is
You know why they gave him that
poorly
one?
written
Because
song.
he wrote a song that Jimi Hendrix did better that wasn't even his song. Bob Dylan's song is not even his song anymore. It's Jimi Hendrix taking the song,
Well, then
changing it
you're
to something
right.
entirely
You're right.
different.
It's not even his song anymore. That's why it's such a damn good cover. Just
That
like The
means it's a
Man Who
bad
Sold the
song
World
that
by
got taken by
Nirvana
someone else.
or Lake
That's
of
a
Fire
bad
by the
song
Meat
that got taken by
Puppets.
someone else,
The
then, Rosa.
cover transcends the original version, and that turns it into the best cover of a song in a specific genre.
No,
if
but
you are
yours
able
isn't
to take
yours
it
is
and
not a good cover.
transcend
It's a
that
good
genre,
remake that takes
then
it
it's
and
the
is
best cover of that
okay.
song.
No, it's not even a cover
Right.
anymore, though, Rosa. It doesn't keep anything of that song. It's not even a country song anymore. You're taking it and it's a cover of nothing. You're covering a concept that doesn't exist anymore once you've turned it into a rock song. It's a country
plays
song.
the
And
exact same changes.
you've completely taken apart what Bob Dylan wanted with that song and turned it into something completely different that is just completely not on the same level. You've turned it into something different that doesn't appreciate or go for what Bob Dylan wanted.
Hey,
The thing about
filibuster
Home Free-
boy.
The thing about
Filibuster
Home Free,
boy, you're
I'm not
repeating yourself.
filibustering. I'm making my point. I'm not filibustering. I'm making my point. Home Free went and made the Elvira song, which is all about finding your love
Pause.
and finding a good.
Pause. We're at the 1 minute warning. Kaleb, you are getting into a bit of filibustering territory. I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up before. You're not letting Matthew present some of his points. There's a lot of times where I'm trying to hear Matthew
Interject. Interjecting.
I was waiting till the 1 minute warning. I'm trying to listen to Matthew Rosa's points.
No, I'm saying Rosa's not stepping up to the plate and interjecting. He can't just sit there and let Kaleb not talk. He's got to actually make points.
I'm listening. Matthew Rosa is talking.
The thing is, Matt's not even letting me make my points. He's just telling you that I'm stupid.
2 seconds here. Let me have my show back, please. First of all, I'm trying to listen to Matthew Rosa. He's trying to bring up points. I don't mind interrupting and trying to steal the thunder, but sometimes it comes off as almost white noise. So I don't mind it. I don't mind interruptions. They're fine. It's good that we have this good back and forth, but let there be this back and forth, not just let's try and get the most points out as we can. So you got 1 minute left.
Can I finish the point I was making?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So
the point I'm trying to make is that Home Free is inherently a country group. They took a different twist, a different turn on something that is still country. They kept it in the genre and made it a love letter to what country is by taking some modern sounds and modern techniques to make it more of a country song that's more enjoyable, more fun to listen to, and still keeps the heart and spirit of the song by layering the rhythms. The thing about that song is that it throws away everything Bob Dylan likes about that song. It takes away every message that Bob Dylan
That's
had.
completely incorrect. No, you are wrong.
It disassembles the song and changes it to something entirely new.
It is the same chord changes. It is the same lyrics. It is the same vibe. It's the same instrumental composition. It is completely ridiculous to argue that somehow. No, it's not. It is literally the exact same in every way. Kaleb, Koho, you need to shut your mouth for 30 seconds and listen to someone who knows more than you talk. At the end of the day, Bob Dylan's song is covered accurately and adequately. You didn't even name the group that covered your song until 2 minutes into the debate.
I said it matter.
Time. Well then, this got spicy really quickly.
Said it,
and I love it. We are now going to go into closings. Mr. Koho, because you went second in the opening, you're going first in the closing. Okay. 45 seconds. Wrap up your thoughts. Have a general statement. Time begins.
to be clear, I did say home free in my opening. Matt Rosa is the one with selective hearing. The thing about home free and their message with the song, they take everything that is true to the song. They take the Oak Ridge Boys' song, keep the message, keep the heart that it has, and improves upon it with modern techniques and makes it a different song while still being an ode and a tribute to what country is and what that song is. The thing is, Bob Dylan's entire vibe, as he says, is stripped away and changed. It goes from being a country song to a hard rock song, and that is a very different vibe. One is more energetic, one's more laid back. And you cannot say that vibe is still the same. Bob Dylan's song is different. It is very different. So much so that it has completely removed itself from the Bob Dylan song entirely, minus maybe the lyrics, the name, and a couple of chords. But the thing is, the song itself is a completely different song in and of itself. And that song is a spit in Bob Dylan's face.
Time. All right. Matthew Rosa, 45 seconds. Just wrap everything up.
At no point in time in the American history of the cover song has it ever been considered an insult to change a song in a major way. The Man Who Sold the World by Nirvana is a hugely different song. David Bowie said that that's their song now. Bob Dylan loves Jimi Hendrix's cover of All Along the Watchtower. It's ridiculous to make that argument. You also are implying that it changes the complete vibe, when you were literally saying about your cover of Elvira that it was more upbeat. It is absurd that you are making arguments against things that you were arguing for in the same breath, not even 30 seconds prior. You don't know what exactly you want out of a song. It is not just, the question is the best cover of a country song, not the best cover that stayed true to country music, just the best cover of a country song. The best cover of a country song is All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. It was a #1 hit for a fucking reason.
Time. Well then.
Can I be honest? I'm going to be straight up right now. Straight up right now.
Shush.
Okay, sorry.
Shush.
No, Caleb. Sorry, Caleb. No. Say what you're going to say.
Okay. Very quickly, I was just going to say, completely didn't know that All Around the Watchtower was a Bob Dylan song, so I pulled a lot of shit out of my ass.
Judges.
Why do you say shit before the ruling? Like,
do not take that into consideration.
No, you can't. It's after time.
I know, but
once
you throw it out there, regardless, we're all human beings. Dumb.
It's not part of my argument, so you have to.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going to say something like that. I thought you were going along something different.
That's literally why I tried to stop him.
All right. Anyways.
Okay.
Cool. Great start to the show. Cody Newberry, we're going to start with you first. Based on the arguments provided, who gets your point and why?
Okay. So basically, where this came down to is hits. Regardless how you see it, each person has their own debate styles. Rosa is very methodical and can pull a lot of facts and really, really deliver a great delivery of his points. The problem is he's facing a Minnesota person that doesn't shut the fuck up. So the basic point is Kaleb hit so many times against it, regardless how you feel about the song. I 100% agree that the two different versions, I absolutely despise Kaleb Koho's choice of this song. I think it is terrible. But regardless filibuster, regardless how you say it, you have to input yourself, you have to drive the point, and you have to shut him up at some point. Elvira barely got hit. That's the basis of it. He had to pretty much defend the entire time. And the problem with Rosa is he brought up the point that it became more of a Jimi Hendrix thing. Regardless if that's the truth, Kaleb heard it, ran with it, and took it the entire time and pissed Rosa off the entire time and made him have to defend it. So I have to give Koho the point for this first one.
Great. Malcolm, I will go to you next. Who has better argument? Why?
Yeah, this was tough. For pretty much the same reasons that Cody said, I'm going to have to give Kaleb a point as well. It's one of those ones like Kaleb ran with a point, and Matthew was struggling to defend his own hits on the song, and the fact is he did get some hits on his version of Elvira, but not enough to sort of take out Kaleb on this one.
All right, so that does mean that Kaleb gets the point. I actually would have voted for Koho as well. I think the debate got a little bit lost, but I think Koho did a tactic that I love, is sort of like pissing off your competitor, and they got stuck on one thing, and it really it's like the clean way of filibustering, kind of. You're not just spewing random shit. You're just hammering home the same freaking thing. Cody.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if Rosa mentioned what he did in his closing in 2 minutes into the middle rounds and then re-hit it, Rosa takes that point. But the problem was Rosa brought all those main folks up at the end, and I was like, that's so brilliant, but I can't erase 6 minutes beforehand. Yeah. That's the only problem.
All right. So Kaleb does.
I thought I lost that. Okay.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Kaleb gets the first point there, which means that we now move on to question number 1. And its inspiration for this question, A Star Is Born came out a little bit ago. Of course, the great remake of the film starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is probably going to get some sort of Oscar buzz. She might get the W. We're not sure, but this inspired me for the question. Sort of the opposite of what I think is going to happen. Who is the worst artist to have won an Oscar? And Kaleb, Koho, you are going to be going first on this one. And you have a minute to open. Time begins whenever you start talking.
Okay, so the year is 1987, and the Oscars have some sort of buzz for some reason that Cher can get an Oscar win for Best Actress for this movie called Moonstruck that is pretty okay written, but like Cher didn't really deliver the best performance in it. And then Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang, she won. And if you look at the pool of Best Actress nominees with her, Glenn Close for Fatal Attraction, Holly Hunter for Broadcast News, Sarah Kirkland for Anna, and Meryl Streep for Ironweed. And they gave it to fucking Cher for Moonstruck. I don't understand where the Academy was at, how many millions she slipped them, but Cher did not deserve that Oscar at all. And there's no way that Holly Hunter Broadcast News is a worse performance than Cher in Moonstruck. I rest my case. Patented Chris Clark move.
Patented late night move, ending a few seconds early there. We'll see if it pays off. Matthew, Rosa, you have 1 minute opening. Time begins whenever you start talking.
I don't think anyone cares to make the argument that Cher isn't a better actress, is a better actress or not than Holly Hunter. I think it's important to bring into the idea of what makes a bad Oscar winner a Best Original Song, in my personal opinion, which is Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia. Now, this is not only a problem because Bruce Springsteen is one of the worst American artists. He spits in the face of artistic evolution. He's been doing the same thing for 30 years and has never evolved in any significant way. You can go back to his first record, to his most recent record, minus the one jazz fusion record that I know Cody would love to bring up in the debates afterwards. But there is so much of the same shit over and over again from Bruce Springsteen. And there was a fucking Neil Young song nominated for that Oscar that year. And Neil Young is Oscarless, and Bruce Springsteen has an Oscar. Therein lies your biggest problem. Cher was a fine actress. I don't care. She's not the worst artist to win an Oscar. The worst artist to win an Oscar is Bruce Springsteen. Cher is an amazing musician.
Time. All right, 5 minutes of freeform, and I do want to reiterate to our competitors, this is the worst artist who has happened to have won an Oscar. We are not debating movies. We are debating music. This is why this is called Dance Off. Cody, you have your hand up yet again.
Yeah, I was just going to try to clarify that just to make sure going ahead. Because if it's going to be movies, I didn't know where we
this
were
is
going,
not,
so
no.
I
this is called,
it was going to be about music.
This is called Dance Off, not movie.
That's how I ended my opening, because I realized he was talking about the movie.
Could I ask a question? Why didn't
possibly
make this like best Oscar to win, like best original song? Because then you just open the category.
Because I wanted to keep it open.
Cody, hold on, Cody. I'm gonna bring something like that up.
Now he has to argue that Cher is a worse artist than Bruce Springsteen. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Sorry,
I shouldn't have to do this, but the reason why I left the question so vague is that there are so many different possibilities that you could have. You could go with composers, you could go with original song people, you could go with actor, actress, directors even.
Sure.
But yeah, there's that's fine. Anyways, 5 minute freeform. Let's go.
All right. Here's the thing. Cher has not done anything new since she started. That's the thing. Cher's not a good musician, and she's a better musician than an actress. But the thing is, she's a so-so musician at that, so it's not saying much. Bruce Springsteen as a musician is at least fun to listen to.
Okay, I'm not letting you go on another one of your shitty little tirades. Cher has not been doing the same thing her entire
Yes,
life,
she
and you
really
don't know
has.
that because you're not queer, I guess, because she's a gay icon. And I'm sorry, honey, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, Cher has completely changed herself from the Sonny and Cher days. She's a completely different person than she ever was back then. Sonny and Cher is nice,
maybe
easy
not
listening.
musician
In the
yet, Rosa.
90s,
Maybe
in the
not
90s,
musician.
she released one of the greatest pop records of all time. She outsold Madonna that year, honey. So
Do you know what
clearly, you
Bruce
have not
Springsteen
heard
did?
your Cher
honey?
record.
You know what
You
Bruce
are once
Springsteen
again
did?
showing
He
your
made
lack
Born
of
in the
knowledge.
USA,
Your
boy.
lack
Born
of
in the
knowledge
USA.
is what keeps getting you, Coho. You don't know what you're talking
I
about.
actually won
You
the
know
last
nothing
point.
about
How
Cher.
are you?
Name
just
a 5 Cher solo song.
Sir.
Name a few
Facts
Cher solo songs.
Spouting facts is not going to get you a win. It's how you argue the facts, Mr. Rosa. And here's the thing.
And
you're
my problem is you're
neglecting.
saying that
You are
Cher has never
neglecting
changed.
Bruce Springsteen
Give
has
me an
written
example.
some great
Give me
music.
examples.
Born-
Give me 3 Cher records
Born
that
in
sound
the
the same,
USA
Coho.
is one of the biggest
Coho, we're not
United
addressing
States
Bruce
anthems
Springsteen
of
right
all
now.
time.
Coho,
And you want to say that Springsteen does not deserve an award.
Honey,
okay.
you're still not arguing my point.
I
Why?
just shut your point down.
No,
You're
no,
not
no, no,
listening,
you didn't, honey.
Afrohead. Come
And
on
I'm
now.
sorry.
Keep up.
Why?
Keep up.
Why is Cher been doing the same thing? How can you argue that? Name 3 Cher albums that sound similar. Name any Cher songs that sound similar to another one.
Outside of your fucking original song, Oscar, sir.
Name another Cher song that sounds similar to I Got You,
was
Babe.
the best song that year. It doesn't matter. Neil Young, sure, he deserves an award. But hey,
no.
That Bruce
This
Springsteen
debate isn't even
was
about
better than the Neil Young song, sir.
Moot point, Coho. You're arguing something that doesn't matter.
Not
it's
moot
worst
point.
artist to have won an Oscar.
Oh, if you're losing a fight, moot point, because I'm losing. Moot point.
To have won an Oscar.
Moot point.
Pause.
Moot point.
Pause.
I'm losing the fight.
Pause. We are at a rolling boil. This is cool for about 5 seconds. We need to simmer because
Then
we as the judges.
Then let me talk instead of yelling mute point.
We as the judges need to hear stuff.
You both are stuck in the same hole. It's terrible. Stop.
All right. Can I speak? Okay. The issue with Bruce Springsteen is not that he is doing the same thing. The thing is, Cher is not good. She does not, even if she's been doing the same thing regardless, no matter what she's made, it is worse than Bruce Springsteen's best song. Bruce Springsteen's worst song is better than Cher's best. And Cher won an Oscar for something that is inconsequential, sure. But the thing is, she won an Oscar for something that she didn't deserve and didn't matter. Bruce Springsteen deserves to have an Oscar, especially for that song. That song was pretty good. The thing is, Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, is an iconic American anthem, and Bruce Springsteen is an iconic American musician. Cher is a gay icon. Great. But she's still not that great as a singer and as a musician. Bruce Springsteen is iconic to America because his music is good.
Your argument. You are arguing that somehow Bruce Springsteen is a more important American icon than Cher. I immediately argue against that, purely based on the fact that Cher has stayed consistently relevant. When was the last time that Bruce Springsteen had a hit that was just absolutely tore up the charts? It was forever ago.
We still talk about Bruce Springsteen. I haven't heard Cher's name in public conversation since the 90s.
Cher had a #1 hit 3 weeks ago, sweetheart. Keep up with your shit. Cher has consistently been dominating the charts of adult contemporary. But let's not even discuss hits. Who is a more important artist? Who's a better artist overall? It's got to be Cher. Cher has constantly innovated in the pop genre. She has constantly changed the pop genre. In no way has Bruce Springsteen changed any genre that he has been a part of.
Actually, he actually changed the entire space of what rock and country could be together. Those two genres together were never anything together
before Bryan Adams. I don't think that math works out, buddy.
Bruce Springsteen was before Bryan Adams. Thank you for bringing that up. Bruce Springsteen
had a couple albums out, but Bryan Adams was clearly more popular. Especially in the early days.
Cher's not as good as some of the other artists in her field, sir. Here's the biggest problem.
You are arguing that Cher is a lousy artist. You have no argument as to why Bruce Springsteen is good other than Born in the USA being an iconic American anthem.
Actually, I do.
While I am consistently telling you so many important Cher albums. I'd Rather Believe in You, Cherish, Take Me Home, Prisoner, I Paralyze, Heart of Stone. I can name all of these iconic Cher albums that went platinum, multi-platinum, but that doesn't even matter. She's a better artist. She was a better songwriter. She has more iconic hits. She had more hits. She is the fourth highest selling female artist of all time. Bruce Springsteen is not even in that consideration.
Time.
He doesn't get caught for filibustering at the very end. All right.
Ooh, what a day! What a day! God, I love Mondays. All right, we're now going to closing. Matthew, you are going to be going first since you opened second. So we got 45 seconds. Once again, just wrap up your thoughts, wrap everything up in a nice little bow.
Bruce Springsteen is the worst artist to have won an Oscar because he spits in the face of artistic evolution. I said it once, I'll say it again. I'll hammer the point like they asked me to. Bruce Springsteen has never evolved. Cher doesn't have two albums that sound anything alike. She has consistently changed who she was and who she is. Recently, she made an album that just sounded like ABBA because she felt like it. None of her other music sounds like ABBA. Sonny and Cher is one of the most important pop duos of all time. Everything she has done has been hugely important, so therefore it is ridiculous to say she's the worst artist to be holding an Oscar. Bruce Springsteen is completely irrelevant in the world of music in the next 30 to 40 years. Cher's music will still be heard. I Got You Babe is still going to matter, if for nothing else than the movies that it's appeared in. She has become a soundtrack of American youth culture, of American culture. I Got You Babe is so important. So is Cher.
Right. Mr. Koho, 45-second closing. Again, wrap everything up in a nice little bow and present. Yeah, you know what to do.
Bruce Springsteen changed the way that country and rock had a relationship, and the way that Bruce Springsteen is still talked about to this day. I can go anywhere and hear Bruce Springsteen. So you saying he's not been relevant for the last 30 years is retarded, sir. Sorry for my use of that word.
No, okay, first of all,
I apologize. That came out wrong. I apologize. I'm heated. I take that back. I will concede this point. I apologize.
You're not conceding the point, but you can finish your argument. That's not okay at all.
I know it does. I know it's not. I apologize. Heated. That slipped out wrong. I apologize. I know. I apologize.
Continue.
Okay. Here's the thing. I completely messed up this argument because I picked someone who won Best Actress, and he picked someone who won Best Original Song. And here's the thing. Cher is the better artist. I didn't realize Bruce Springsteen won an Oscar. Bruce Springsteen won for Best Original Song. Cher won for an award that she didn't deserve because Holly Hunter was out that year. That's really all I got. I can't really argue it, and I don't, apologize.
All right, time. So, the arguments. I'm gonna get my vote right out of the way. This is a slam dunk for Rosa. Right out of the gate, that first 5 minutes. Whenever it was, Kaleb presented the argument of, fun to listen to, and Cher is just sort of stayed the same, and then Matthew instantly going back to the 90s pop singles, and even the time with Sonny and Cher, and it just he's sort of dominated from that time. So I'm going to give my point to Matthew Rosa right out of the gate. I'll go to Cody next, based on the arguments provided. To get your point, why?
Good job, Brooklyn, by holding it together on that moment. Just cover that off stream, please.
Yep.
My only viewpoint is I kind of disagree with you on Rosa. If Rosa continued on the same path he did at the first 2 minutes, I would have literally X'd him completely off the board because he wanted to create his own debate of it and make him. I hate the tactic of name songs. That's not the debate. That's not the style. That's not the question. He turned it on and argued the correct phrase, so Rosa does win the point. But if that was the first 2 minutes of this fight was disgusting. It was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. No offense to either one of you. It's just you went down a rabbit hole that didn't make any sense.
All right, so Rosa does get the point there. Malcolm, your vote did not count, but how would you have swayed?
Yeah, I would have said Matthew as well. He just kind of dominated, and he got in lots of hits on Kaleb. The only hits Kaleb would get in on Bruce Springsteen was that "Born in the USA" is an iconic song, but that's pretty much he seemed to go around that circle and kind of lost his steam from the first debate.
And
All right.
how dare you insult Cher? Cher is an icon and a wonderful singer, and you went down like Jesse James. That's
Hell
what
yeah.
for you.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, so that does tie things up. Interesting that it's clean sweep for first questions on either side. We now move into question number 3. Basic answer for this question: Americans celebrate Thanksgiving 5 weeks too late. So it was like, let's do a little bit of a wordplay, a little word association. What is the best song that has thanks or thank in the title? And Matthew, you elected to go first in this question. You're going to get a minute opening. Time begins whenever you start talking.
This one was so easy for me to decide on. It is the lead single of one of the most important albums ever released by the band Weezer. Now, it is Thank God for Girls. Weezer had not successfully released an album that was of any real significance in popular culture since about 2003. Every single album they had been releasing was absolute garbage, and that pinnacle was reached with the album Ratitude, which was their last major release before they took about a 7-year break and released the White Album. Now, they did release Hurley and Death to False Metal in the middle, just in case anyone's like a big, historical person in the argument. Yes, there is, but those were mostly B-sides. Thank God for Girls was the reminder that Weezer could be a truly amazing band. They realized that what they needed to do was sing about the fact that they were sad because they didn't have girlfriends. And at the end of the day, that was what people wanted from Weezer. They wanted that return to Pinkerton, that return to the Blue Album. So I thank God for that song. Thank God for Girls is the best song with the word thanks in it.
All right. We have a minute opening by Kaleb Koho. Time begins whenever you're talking.
Fall Out Boy was coming off one of their best albums, actually their best album of all time, with From Under the Cork Tree. They have had a solid catalog of songs, but nothing has really reached the peaks that Thanks for the Memories has. Thanks for the Memories is an anthem for teenagers and for growing up, and has been consistently since it came out. It won the Teen Choice Award for Best Single, not Best Rock Single, for Best Single, period, of that year. And since then, Thanks for the Memories has been in constant rotation everywhere as the anthem for young adults, for teenagers growing up and changing into a different style of their life, into a different area of their lives. When it comes to Weezer, all I hear is Beverly Hills. And when it comes to that song may have been okay. It might have got them back on track, but it is not Thanks for the Memories, which is one of the best rock anthems of this century, let alone this decade.
Alrighty, sticking with that late night with Take 3 method, we'll see if that pays off. 5 minutes free form, and I will remind our competitors, our rolling boil is cool for about 5 seconds, but let's keep it at a nice simmer. We are gentlemen here. This should be a really, I love the passion, but let's hear some points. Let's go.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I'll let Rosa start.
We both said we could start. Okay, I'll start.
It's fine.
Thank God for Girls is such a more important song, in my personal opinion, than Thanks for the Memories. And here's why. Thank God for Girls has the amazing record of being the most added song to alternative radio playlists of all time. When people heard that song, they immediately went, this is important. We need this on our rotation, because Weezer just reminded everybody that they are one of the coolest rock bands around. They used this song to completely go on a different direction, and they dared to post a picture of the Pope as the album cover, despite so many people telling them that they could not do that. Thanks for the Memories is a fun song. It's a great song, but it falls in with the category of songs like Mr. Brightside. It's fun. It's casual. You can listen to it, but Thank God for Girls had a message to send. It was anti-misogyny. It was explaining why girls are important, and Weezer had been accused of being misogynistic so many times throughout their career. It was so important. It was an amazing song that we should be thankful for.
You're giving Weezer way too much credit for being a smart band. Sorry. This is coming from the guys that sat there and sang a song called Beverly Hills for 30 minutes. Here's the issue with Weezer. Weezer, sure, this song made them relevant again, but here's the thing. It's a sad boy song. It's kind of a sad boy song, and I don't really need to listen to a sad boy song unless I'm, ever. The thing is, I don't need to feel bad about myself when I can go to a Fall Out Boy song and get happy that even though I'm like in a different part of my life, I can think back to fun times. I can think back to when I was in the prime of my life at any time in my life. And this song really helps with that. This song is more about coming of age in a song than you're giving it credit for. You're kind of just saying, oh, it's a Mr. Brightside fluff piece. That's very much not what it is. If you listen to the entirety of the Infinity on High album that it comes from, Thanks for the Memories is the centerpiece of a very intellectual concept coming of age album. The thing is...
I just have one question. Have
Sure.
you ever heard Thank God for Girls by Weezer? Because
I have.
it's a soaring pop chorus. How is it a sad boy song?
It doesn't matter. I mean, the music doesn't have to be sad, but I'm saying the lyrics of the song is a sad boy song. You said it yourself. They're sad that they don't have girlfriends. That's a sad boy song. Look up Urban Dictionary.
That's a constant. No, that's a motif that people usually use to refer to Weezer. It's not that the song itself is actually because they're sad that they don't have girlfriends. It's a feminist anthem. It's brilliant.
Okay,
it's
but you kind of said it. You kind of said it yourself. You set it up to be that way.
You bring up Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills
kind of
been written by Rivers Cuomo.
You're not your own song, and now you're trying to backtrack. See,
no, it's fine. But you're saying that Beverly Hills is a good argument as to why Thank God for Girls is less important than.
No, I'm saying that you're giving way too much.
Beverly Hills isn't written by Rivers Cuomo, and I'm talking about
Hills for 30 minutes was a good song.
Writing.
Here's the thing. They have never topped the Blue Album. This song does not even bring them back to relevancy. What's really brought the Beverly Hills Band back to relevancy is their cover that they just did earlier this year of I Bless the Rains Down in Africa, that Toto song. That's the most relevant Weezer has been since Beverly Hills, sir. The thing is, Fall Out Boy has...
correct. If you're wondering if I Want You To was a number one hit.
This song has never left rotation. That's the thing. You're trying to compare a number one hit that I guarantee you maybe no one that's listening right now has even heard. This song right now, Thanks for the Memories, is still in rotation. I work at a top 40 station, and next door is a classic rock station, and next door to that is a modern rock station. Those stations are playing Thanks for the Memories constantly. 10 years later, this is a anthem for the people, by the people. And here's the
1 minute
problem. Thank God for Girls was hugely successful, and it is, like I said earlier, I don't know if you missed this, it is the most added alternative rock song of all time. It is played on more radio stations, more alternative rock stations than any other song.
Okay, but how many alternative rock stations are there in comparison to top 40? Because if
it's fine, but to imply that Thank for the Memories is in more rotation than Thank God for the Girls is incorrect. Thank God for Girls
it's not. I work at a radio
rotation
station.
more.
You're going to tell me I work at a radio station and I see the numbers that I'm wrong. Okay.
Your anecdotes don't matter, Koho. That isn't an argument.
You point. Here's the thing. Here is the thing. Thank God for Girls might be a nice song, but it does not touch Thanks for the Memories. You're comparing The Girl Is Mine to Billie Jean. There is a difference here. There is a difference to a nice song that is on this album that is okay to the number one hit of this band.
Time.
It is a massive success.
All right. We now go into the closing arguments. Kaleb, since you went second in your opening, you will begin the closing arguments. 45 seconds. Wrap it up in a nice little sandwich and present it to the judges.
All right, so Thanks for the Memories. We're dealing for the best song that has thanks in it. Not necessarily the biggest cultural impact, but that is part of what makes the best. And when you look at the best song that has thanks or thank in the title, it is Thanks for the Memories, undeniably. That is the best thanks song ever because it is a rock anthem that speaks to generations today. It speaks to my dad's generation who wasn't even around for this. It's going to speak to my kids. It's an endlessly timeless song about coming of age and growing up. There's every aspect of the song that you can attach to. There's different verses, different lyrics you can grab onto and hold with. Whereas all I've heard about Thank God for Girls is that it's a nice alternative song that gets played on stations every now and then. Thanks for the Memories is heard by more ears, constantly in heavier rotation, and that's because Fall Out Boy and the song is better than Weezer.
Time. Ending right on the dot there. We now go to Mr. Rosa. 45 seconds. Once again, wrap it up in a nice little sandwich and present.
I'm going to take a page out of the lovely Mr. Cody Newberry's book. Just because a song is older doesn't mean it's better. Your song came out first, and it may have had a more significant impact if you want to say that. But Thank God for Girls is a better song. It is better composed. It's better released. It's on a better album. It's by a better band. At the end of the day, Thank God for Girls could very well become just as important as Thanks for the Memories within the next 20 years. You can't compare those things. That is not an argument. That's just stating something that is obvious. Yes, Thanks for the Memories has been around longer. Thank God for Girls will be around for longer. You have to let it be around first. It is an important song. It's a beautiful anthem. It is the best song with the word thanks in it because it truly is being thankful for girls. It is not just saying thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so good.
Okay. Swingy, back and forth, for sure. I wasn't consistent on who was getting my point, but I will go to Malcolm first. Malcolm, based on the arguments provided, who gets your point and why?
Well, this is interesting. I mean, I personally have not heard of either of these songs, so this was fun for me. But I'm going to give my point to Matthew because his argument convinced me that I want to hear his song over Kaleb's more. And it's, I mean, not to say that Kaleb didn't argue. He did. This was definitely a really close argument. I think Matthew just squeaked in there. It was really close.
All right. I am going to go next, and before I get my point, I'm actually going to say hi to some of the cool kids in the chat. Allison, Jonathan, and Cameron. You guys have actually had a really good debate. Matthew Kearns there for a bit, as well as Multiplex Entertainment. I'm not sure who you are. Nico, Kane, Jim, Tim. I'm not really sure. But it's Tim. Oh, cool. Thank you for being a friend by Andrew Gold was one mentioned by Jonathan Peck. Cameron saying don't you dare shit on Mr. Brightside, Rosa. I would also agree. Killers are phenomenal. But
struggle bus.
Kaleb had a bad opening because he was really he was really stuck in Beverly Hills. Rosa, I think, had a good overall, presented like the message of the song and tried to tackle the defense. I'm actually though going to give my point to Kaleb because he actually won it for me on the closing. He took the stereotype, like a lot of people will attack these older songs because it's just because it's older doesn't mean it's better. He sort of took that argument and was like, yes, it's older, but it speaks to so many different it speaks to so many different generations. God. I know I can't talk. Sign the petition, www.brooklynisadouchebag.com. But I'm actually giving my
.net.
.net. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I'm going to give a point to Kaleb because he stole it at the last minute on closing. Cody, that comes down to you. Who gets your point based on argument survivors?
This is literally 51-49 in my eyes. I'm really surprised that Matt didn't sway you at the end because he actually tackled why the song was strong near the end with the lyrics, the band, the accompaniment, everything that you orgasm over. So I just wrote something on my board which helps me decide who the winner is. Just because it's in a top 40 chart in Minnesota doesn't always mean it's top 40 or played on every station. I don't hear any of these songs ever. And who listens to radio anymore? That's called Apple Music and Spotify. But I put Kaleb has never heard Thank God for Girls. And that's what I basically come at. He did a lot of opinion based, which is strong for some people to sell points, but I think Matthew actually tackled it. Matthew lost a lot of footing when he was like, I don't think you've ever heard this song, and kept thing, but then he switched gears. So Matt takes this point for me.
All right, so in a split decision, Matt does take the point there. I do remind our competitors that this is a race 2-3. So ooh. Kaleb is in the danger zone. Danger zone.
At least his intermittent strength round.
Yes. Question number 4. Boy, am I excited that we get to talk about this. So if you saw the post earlier today on the Facebook books, you will have discovered that Ren and Stimpy's Crockett Christmas is my favorite Christmas album of all time. Come at me. I will fight it tooth and nail.
Get the hell out of here. What the hell?
I love it. It is partially for nostalgic reasons. But yeah, I've listened to it twice already this year. This got me to get to present this question. Pitch a Christmas album with 2 animated characters. Kaleb, Koho, you are going to be going first in this argument. You have 1 minute, and time begins whenever you start talking.
When it comes to Christmas music, we've heard basically every song done a million times, done to death by the same people. And some old middle-aged white guy crooner who wants to do a different spin, a middle-aged white guy guitarist who wants to do this, that, or the other. So I want to change things up a bit. So I went and got Moana and Miguel from Coco, because I feel like those 2 voices together bring a significantly different voice, a significantly different tone, a different culture, a different sound that is fresh and gives a different fresh perspective to Christmas music than we've heard before. We've heard enough Michael Bublé's and Idina Menzel's and whatever white animated character that Matt's about to throw out is only going to contribute to that. I want to give 2 new people who they actually have the talent, as we see in Coco. Miguel can play the guitar and sing actually really well, and a gorgeous voice that rings out over the ocean. The 2 of them together could bring some gorgeous duets. You could hear some totally new takes on It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. You could hear a lot of totally different takes on
time. There you go. Perfect. Good. All right. 1 minute to you, Mr. Rosa. Time begins whenever you're talking, and I'm really intrigued to hear this one.
You see, when I was speaking to a certain Jukebox trivia champion, Mr. Luca Hope Fowl and Madden, we discussed that gay people just do it better. And if you have seen Deadpool 2, you have a good understanding of the gay undertones of one Mr. Wade Wilson and Colossus. So as far as I'm concerned, I would love to hear a Christmas album by Deadpool and Colossus. Now, I would love to hear their take on the 12 Days of Christmas. I would love to hear their take on Jingle Bells. Although it would not be a musically beautiful piece, it would be something that would be amazingly worth listening to, just like the Ren and Stimpy album that Brooklyn cited. It's not about how beautiful it is. We've got enough beautiful Christmas music. I'm down for the fun shit. And I would love to listen to Deadpool sing miserably out of tune and Colossus sing in a monotone while they profess their love for each other while singing Baby It's Cold Outside. It would be an absolutely masterful album that I would play every year around the holidays.
Time. All right. 5-minute freeform, but before we go to that, Cameron has asked, doesn't the question specify animated?
Yeah.
Yes, it has, but Deadpool and Colossus have been on animated shows.
The Amazing Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Colossus are frequently featured together.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, so 5-minute freeform. Let's get it on.
Okay, so you have to pick an animated Deadpool and Colossus, right? That means you got to pick a PG-13 one that syncs out of tune. When I'm listening to a Christmas album, I don't need to hear gunshot bullets and out-of-tune pitches and literally the worst Christmas album ever. It's a meme that will be funny for 5 minutes. I want a Christmas album that is going to give other people a chance to present their own unique takes on what we've heard in the past and reinvent what Christmas music can be. Moana and Miguel give completely new style changes, completely new perspectives, different cultural aspects that can change. I would love to hear a Pacific Islander take on White Christmas. I would love to hear a rendition of Ave Maria mixed with Feliz Navidad by Miguel and Moana. Like, there are some amazing matchups that we could get. A very beautiful, very different, very new Christmas album that these 2 characters together, and they have such their voices match on like a performance level when you put together. Moana's got this really pretty more higher pitched tone voice, while Miguel's got this like low tenor to sort of aiming towards tenor 1 voice, and I think that would be a really nice mesh. Whereas Deadpool singing out of tune for like 10 minutes was going to be funny for like a meme on Facebook, and Colossus it'll be for 5 seconds. I'm not
Here's
gonna
my
listen to it every
hugest
Christmas.
problem with your argument. You're implying that you would prefer to have an album exist that you could literally go find tomorrow. You can go online and listen to Gloria Estefan sing Christmas music, and you can go online and you can listen to Iz Kamawuleu sing Christmas music. It's not hard to find that. You can't find a Deadpool and Colossus album anywhere.
That's because it doesn't need to exist,
We're
Matt.
pitching a Christmas album by two animated characters. What am I
It
going to have
shouldn't
more
exist.
fun with? I'm never going to turn on a Miguel and Moana Christmas album. Now, is that just opinion-based? Sure, it's opinion-based. So therefore, Cody, if you want to strike it from the record, I know you want to.
Here's the thing.
But my biggest problem...
Before you go off
you can't even let me get an argument out.
There's things in the past. You're like, oh, there's things in the past that have done it. Does that mean that we need to stop equality because we've had people in the past that have already gotten their chance? I mean, I don't think that's a valid reason to say Moana and Miguel shouldn't get a chance because it's been done already. I'm saying I want another one. I want one in the mainstream eye. Again, that's new, fresh taste.
We're pitching a Christmas album.
I don't need to hear a meme for 45 minutes of Deadpool screeching out "Is it Christmas?" while Colossus bangs on his chest to create a beat and mumbling something in Russian. I don't need a joke. I need something that's actually going to be pretty, beautiful, different, something that we haven't heard in this style before. You're implying that all Pacific Islander albums of the past are the same. You're implying that all these Mexican Christmas albums are the same by doing this. The thing is, Miguel and Moana is a completely new blend. I can promise you it's something that we have never heard before and we would never, ever have heard before.
We're pitching a Christmas album by two animated characters. Here is the problem. You are pitching a Christmas album by a Mexican and a Pacific Islander. That's awesome. I would love to listen to that album, but I have no interest in hearing Miguel and Moana specifically sing me a Christmas album. I have specific invested interest in hearing Deadpool and Colossus.
That's just you, because somehow you're like crazy.
I know their chemistry. I know the way that they are.
Just because
I know
they can
the way
make
that
jokes
they would
together
play
does not
off
mean they
of
can
one another.
sing together in a way that you want to listen to for 2 hours.
Here's
on a
the big
Christmas
problem.
drive to your grandma's.
People love Tim and Eric's albums. Tim and Eric can't sing for shit, but they made great Christmas. They made a Christmas album, and it was hilarious. They've made great albums that are funny. They can do that. Well, I think they had a few Christmas songs, specifically not a Christmas album. But, regardless.
That's because you picked an animated Deadpool that can't swear. If you could give me a Christmas album where Deadpool drops an F-bomb in the middle of the 12 days of Christmas, sure, that'll be a little bit more funny. But the thing is, you're pitching a joke that's going to be a half an hour ride to Grandma, 2 hours ride to Grandma.
I have no interest in Deadpool cursing all the way through this Christmas album. It can be a Christmas album. In fact, if they sang every song sincerely, it would almost be funnier. I have no interest in hearing the specific characters that you are arguing. Here's your problem. Your argument falls apart here. There is no interest in hearing those characters sing together. There's no inherent chemistry.
Actually, there is.
No,
you know how much money
and say, damn, I really want to hear
and Moana
Miguel.
Combined?
I really want to hear Miguel and Moana
that
together.
Those two have together already, Matt?
Sure,
Matt,
but there's no inherent will to hear those things together. And it would not be the most critically acclaimed Christmas album of all time. Bing Crosby and Michael Bublé. The problem is you keep hitting on why your album would be great, but not why mine would
and
be
win
bad.
more Grammys than Deadpool screeching for 4 hours. I do not need a joke that goes on too long. It would be a joke that would overstay its welcome. Whereas Moana and Miguel is something completely different that actually does have an audience. Just because it doesn't speak to you doesn't mean it speaks to others.
We almost hit time 3 times. We're getting close there, but we're getting better.
Sorry, couldn't hear you.
You would have lost the point, Koho.
No, you would have gotten a dead stare.
That would have been his 15th warning of the night.
No, it wouldn't have. I've stopped on time pretty much every time.
You've had hits and misses. So we now go into the closing arguments. Matthew, Rosa, you will be going first. Again, 45 seconds. Wrap it up in a baseball bat and present it to the judges.
Deadpool and Colossus could give you an amazing album that would be funny, it would be enjoyable, it would be a classic, it would be something that you could turn on, you could enjoy. It wouldn't be a joke that would overstay its welcome because at the end of the day, you can pause it. You can pause any album. No one listens to an album all the way through anymore. It's just not the way that music is consumed anymore. People love things like In the Aero Ska Over the Sea, where it was an entire ska cover of In the Aeroplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel. It wasn't a good album, but people loved it. It sold 1 billion copies because it was funny. It was funny. People like funny. The problem with a Miguel and Moana album is that there's no inherent chemistry there. It would be like when you tried to stick together Lady Gaga and Kanye West. it wasn't something that just blended together perfectly and made a great album because of their inherent friendship that really you could just see through the music. But not only their friendship, but their romantic interest in one another can make the album better.
All right. Mr. Koho, 45 seconds, putting up a Too Sweet logo. Yeah, we're going to try and see how that pays off. 45 seconds, once again, wrap everything up, present it in a baseball bat, and present it to the judges.
No one said there was an inherent romantic chemistry that would make that better. You just pulled that out of your ass. Here's the thing. Moana and Miguel have an inherent, like, vocally, when you hear them sing, their voices match. Deadpool and Colossus can't sing. And there's the thing. I don't want to listen to someone who can't sing for 2 hours. It's a meme. It'd be funny for 3 seconds. This is an album that will actually be inspirational to people. There is a market for Miguel and Moana to sing together, but look at how much those made and how critically acclaimed those movies were. If you heard these two singing together, you wouldn't tell me that, like, those songs would top the iTunes charts. That would be the biggest deal, like, maybe of the last year. That album is easily the one that we need, more than a joke of Deadpool and Colossus that we really don't need, because it'd be funny and there'd be a gif of it for like 2 minutes and it would go away. This would be an album that would endure and hold on forever.
Time. As Cody shakes his head in frustration. All right. So before we go to the judges, let's go to the cool kids in the chat. Allison Grindstaff is saying Ed, and from Cartoon Network would be a good choice. Jonathan Peck had Buzz, Woody, and the Genie. But there was a lot of debate on whether or not there was actually a lot of criticism on Deadpool and Colossus. But let's go to the judges. Malcolm, I'm going to go to you first because I don't want influenced by the judges' effective decision because you are facing the winner of this match. So I'll go to you first. Based on the arguments divided, who gets your point and why?
There was something that Kaleb hit on at the start of the debate that Matthew didn't counter, and Kaleb said at the start that an animated Deadpool and Colossus would have had to be PG-13, but if Matthew had sort of said, like, just because the anime doesn't mean they have to keep it PG-13, like, it's one of those ones. This is an interesting debate because, I mean, Kaleb definitely got a lot of more points out. Matthew got a few hits in there, but I'm going to have to give my point to Kaleb because I think he got a little bit more strong hits over Deadpool and Colossus, and yeah.
All right, and before I go to Cody, Cameron, I do apologize. I'm sorry. Jack Frost and North from Rise of the Guardians is also a suggestion.
Oh yeah.
Once again, www.brooklynisadouchebag.net. Cody, we'll be going to you next. Based on arguments divided, who gets the W and why?
This is interesting. Again, Rosa, I give you full credit on creativity. Like, that was probably the most, like, funny choice that you could have picked. Even though I would totally avoid that album like the plague, because I'm not the hugest Deadpool fan. The argument was, I think the huge, like, I always there was a lot of opinion based, which I hate opinion based. Rosa even brought it up in the thing that I would discard it. He did it less than Koho, but Koho did say a huge factor of, like, with Deadpool's, like, rise with no cursing, I think would kind of hurt the thing, and he kind of did a good job of explaining that and covering that. So again, going into this question, this is like Koho's, like, arena of battle, like, animated and music. I think he did a really good job of explaining it out, even though I would really like this to end right now, because gosh, these two are giving me a bad headache. But it's really good debate. It's just giving me a headache. So we have to go to the final question. I have to give it to Kaleb.
Yeah. All right. I actually also would have given my point to Kaleb. To agree with the points of Cody and Malcolm, but more so in the pitch, especially in these pitch questions, I think Kaleb did a better job of pitching different songs. With Rosa, the only one I really sort of heard was how they would do a different take on, like, 12 Days of Christmas, whereas with Kaleb, I heard, like, a different mashup of, like, Ave Maria and Feliz Navidad. I heard, like, White Christmas, like some different ideas. And if Matthew, I think if Matthew had expanded a little bit more on different songs, he probably would have gotten a point for me. But like it has been every single fucking time, it's a tie game, and we go into the tiebreaker, and it is the speed round format.
Congrats, Matt. This is where you win.
Competitors, how it's going to work is I hear you first, you will be going first. Openings are 45 and then 30. They're longer than late night. Cody, correct me if I'm wrong on that, or Malcolm. Yeah, 45 and 30. All right. So once again, if I hear you first, you go first. 45-second openings, 30-second closing. Your argument, gentlemen, is as follows. What is the best song by Paramore?
Misery Business.
Misery Business.
I heard Misery Business first from Matthew Rosa.
Okay. So that first on my end. Okay. You know what? Let's see. Why can't I think of the one? I can hear the song. I can't think of the name.
Is it That's What You Get?
No, it's not that one, actually. That's not
The only
pick.
exception?
No. I'll fall on the sword. Ain't it fun?
Ain't it fun? All right. So we have Misery Business versus Ain't It Fun. Matthew Rosa, I heard you first. You have 45 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
When Misery Business hit, Paramore went from being a bunch of nobodies from my hometown to becoming huge, absolute mega stars. And that's because Hayley Williams wrote a song from a place of personal emotion. She wrote a song about a story of things that really happened to her. And she wrote it from a place of raw emotion. She said words that she would later regret. But the song itself is so brilliant. It's so beautiful. I actually got to see them perform it for the final time, and it is absolutely amazing to watch the performance. Everything about that song is the best Paramore song. It is by definition what Paramore stands for. It was this angry, aggressive, small teenage girl just talking about what upset her and trying to reach the people that she knew she could reach, other teenage girls. Ain't It Fun is just another song that just falls into the pop ethos after a few years. Misery Business is so important to pop.
Time. All right. Kill Koho, 45-second opening. Once again, time begins whenever you start talking.
You just said that Misery Business just inspired the entire rock genre of, we're going to market it to teenage girls. Here's the thing. That's kind of my least favorite genre of rock music. So inherently, Misery Business kind of ruined rock music. The thing is, Paramore reinvented what rock is in the 2010s with their self-titled album and with Ain't It Fun, because they saw that punk rock was going away and they needed to come up with a new form of rock quick. And what they did is they found this new form of alternative that soon Panic at the Disco would follow and adopt, that Fall Out Boy would soon follow and adopt, and it became the new rock music of the decade. And Ain't It Fun is the anthem of 2013 for one, and it also won a Grammy for Best Rock Song that year because it is very well written, it's very well constructed, and it changed the face of rock music for the new decade and brought rock back in a new way that was relatable to the modern age of teens.
Cool. All right, we go to 30-second rebuttals. Matthew, you will go first. Time begins whenever you start talking.
The biggest hole in your argument is the fact that you are arguing that Ain't It Fun had a bigger impact. The Ain't It Fun may have had a bigger impact, but that doesn't matter. Misery Business is a better song. It's better written. It's better performed. It was by an actual band. Paramore, by the time that their self-titled album came out, they were a trio. They weren't even a band anymore. They were just trying to make music that could keep them relevant. I have spoken to Hayley Williams. She said she's not proud of that album. You know that for a fact. But at the end of the day, Misery Business is an absolutely brilliant song that had brilliant effects on the world. It has become an amazing song, but it doesn't matter what sort of impact it had. It's just a better song.
All right. Mr. Koho, 30 seconds. Time begins whenever you start talking.
All right, saying that, bring up a conversation that may or may not have happened behind the scenes to say that that album sucks is irrelevant. We're not talking about albums, we're talking about songs. Ain't It Fun is the better song because here's the thing. it won an award. Did Misery Business win an award? No. Here's the thing: Misery Business is maybe the best song that they had for a year, but Ain't It Fun topped that 10 times over with the playability, with the reason why people listen to it and what it did for rock music as a whole. Misery Business's impact is really lost because it didn't really do as much as Ain't It Fun. Ain't It Fun is more fun to listen to. It's more relatable, and Misery Business is only relatable to a small demographic. Ain't It Fun is relatable to everyone.
You literally argued impact right after I yelled about impact not mattering.
Well then, this is guys. I thought this was going to be a lot more one-sided than I thought it was, but it got really interesting in the rebuttals. Malcolm, I'm going to go to you first because you are facing the winner of this, so I don't want your vote to be influenced by other judges. So, Malcolm, based on arguments divided, who gets your point and why?
I mean, Kaleb did the one thing which annoys me in debates. That one thing that I'm guilty of myself is that it won an award that makes it better. But based on the arguments, I think Matthew sort of had it. He kind of touched on the songwriting a lot in his arguments, and he did kind of hit various points enough. So I'm going to give Matthew the point.
All right. Cody, I will go. No. Okay. God damn it. All right. Let's see what I do in late night. Let's talk this out. I cancel out the Matthew Rosa saying that the Haley Williams thing talked to her off stage. I cancel out that and Kaleb Koho's Grammy win. Grammys in debate is almost like Rotten Tomatoes. They're important, but they're not set in stone. So Matthew's done what I like, and he talked about the songwriting of the song. Talked about how it came, like where she drew inspiration of this, just sort of these life events that she had. Whereas Kaleb had it. Okay, so here's where I'm at right now. Matthew had a better opening. Kaleb had a better rebuttal. Kaleb's rebuttal, what I liked about it is that he sold it effectively on how Misery Business gets lost in that mix that of what is pop punk to mid 2000s pop punk, and really sold Ain't It Fun where in the mid 2010s it's very pop heavy, and how it sort of broke out from what was almost a dead genre, which is classic rock as sad as that is. Man, this is really hard. And your winner,
Yes.
advancing on to face Malcolm, is the Minor Threat Matthew Rosa. My God.
The king is dead! Ding dong, the king is dead! The king is dead! The king is dead!
Okay. Simmer for 2 seconds. Before I get to Cody, actually, I'll go to the suggestions in the chat. Alison Grindstaff saying that Hallelujah was one that she would fight for. Fences was also another good one. Let's see here. Cameron honestly I give that one to Kaleb. Rosa got too focused on how the artist feels about the song, while Kaleb argued how the song appeals to the masses more. Also, I really like Koho's argument on how it changed what alt rock was going forwards. Cody, your vote did not count, but how would you have swayed?
Well, I would have made it a little bit more climactic because I would have actually given it to Koho. I think Koho had a better overall argument. I don't mean this in any disrespect to Rosa, to Brooklyn, to people that are very musically, they have talent in music, okay? But they get so caught up on sometimes that the overall debate side, they argue some of those points more than like appealing to somebody that doesn't hit in the same wavelength, right? So like me and Malcolm are not musicians, so we don't know. So like I think Koho killed the opening personally by saying what it did for the genre and everything. But hey, it really doesn't matter. You guys ruled how you were. That's why there's 3 judges. That's why you decide. And Koho, congratulations! You're 1 question away from winning again. Now you can shave that mustache.
Well then, hush has fallen onto the panel. I'm gonna go to Matthew first. Matthew, it's been loud. It's been really loud today. I'm almost with Cody, borderline headache. How do you feel about your performance today and going up against somebody who is as loud as you are, Kaleb Koho?
This was my worst debate performance ever. I mean, I really got emotional during all along the Watchtower, which was my argument to win. And Koho took advantage of that. And I totally think Koho's a good debater. But at the end, I think I was able to get my thoughts about me. And I think I did still have a few slips, but I talk so fast. I'm able to hit so many points in the speed round that you never want to go to the speed round with me. Because if we go to the speed round, I'm probably going to win. I'm yet to lose in a speed round. I've lost 1 speed round to Chris Clark. I lost 1 speed round to Chris Clark, actually. And that was over on the late night. And that was because it was about kaiju, something I know literally nothing about. And I still almost beat him. But overall, I think that I have a big claim to going further in this tournament because I don't think anybody can do what Koho just did to me. Me and Cody will have an awesome debate if we get to fight. But I think me and Koho's debate will be, I mean, not Koho, me and Cody. Me and Cody's debate will be way more civilized. It'll be the back and forth. Koho was smart. He came out with the ideals of a Ben Shapiro type, not talking about his political beliefs, just his debate style of just dominating the debate. He was trying to corner me. The problem was, and it was exactly what I said was going to be the problem, it was knowledge. There was a lot of things he just didn't quite know that I feel like cost him the match.
Alrighty. I love how throughout this entire show, Luca and I have been like chopped liver. Everybody's like, oh, whenever I take on Cody, like we're just fucking chopped liver. I fear for Cody, whoever wins that match, because this will be in response to all the haters who want to put up good debating with inferior music knowledge over solid debaters with exponentially better music knowledge. Kaleb Koho, I'm going to go to you next. Once again, unfortunately, just 1 point away from a W. For me, it wasn't even 51-49. It was literally a coin flip. I could make arguments for either person to get the point.
Jesus, how do you your question writer?
How do you feel about your points, Cody? You Boston motherfucker.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really come in prepared. And I'm not even saying that's the reason why I lost, because I don't give a shit that I lost. In fact, I'm kind of happy I lost because I don't think I deserve to win tonight. I got kind of caught up in that spectacle aspect of it. Got a little lost in it. And after the first 2 rounds, I kind of pulled back because that's not. I didn't like who I was playing on screen. So yeah, eased up. Kind of turned it on again for the animated one because the animated one is, like Cody says, my bread and butter. But hey, like, ain't it fun? Okay, he was gonna win. He said misery business. He was gonna win. And I'm not upset with like how I argued it. I think I argued it as good as I could have. I just kind of gave up because I don't think I deserve to win tonight. And Matt, you are the better fighter. You're the better person. And yeah, I'm actually very happy for you for winning tonight. And I don't really care who you play. I mean, personally, Cody is my dude. But yeah. No, like, good luck, man. You're awesome. So,
all right, Cody, I'll go to you since you have your hand raised.
The disrespect that you uttered before you went to Caleb Koho, that you said that everybody's looking aside from you and Luca because of your vast music knowledge. And that's great. That's fantastic. But at the end of the day, the questions will come out, the answers will be given, the debate will be said, and if you can't argue what's on the table, you can spew what great songs a certain band has had, or you can spew what this song means, in what key it is sung, and what that means to a person. But you can't say Late Night with Take 3 correctly, and you want to get into my house of debate. We can debate why Washers versus Croquette is the best, and I will still beat you. I went into your house
Croquet.
I went into your house to debate sandwiches and beat you.
You have Nico to thank for that win.
You have Nico to thank because you invited him on the show. So at the end of the day, you and Luca have a great match tomorrow. I hope you do well. But at the end of the day, when you guys when you take your head and place it up your ass because you think you know the most music knowledge, but you can't debate it against me and you lose in your own house, don't be upset.
It's very easy to debate little music knowledge. You can debate a turd, but it's still a turd. I'm going to go to Malcolm next. Malcolm, you are going on to face Matthew Rosa after this performance. How do you feel like this is going to be coming up fairly soon?
Well, first, I'm a little offended that Matthew was looking past me in the future. That is going to be your downfall.
I didn't understand the bracket.
You can blame it on not understanding the bracket, but I'm going to come in as more prepared than I've ever been. I'm going to rip the afro off your head and use it as a toilet brush. I'm not going to let anyone past me. I'm going to go with you at everything that I've got.
I love this. We have a reignited fire in Malcolm. This is what I wanted after that match with Jess. Somebody got that spark, and that spark is what makes great debates, much like this one today. Cody, before you went off on one of your typical mass hole tangents, how do you feel about the performance today?
Great. Caleb can say what he wants. I honestly believe that was a fantastic performance by both. Koho and me have battled before in debate, and Koho did the same thing to me that he did to Rosa. Got into his head, pissed me off to a point that I actually had to go down to the last question to beat him. It happens. It happens to everybody when they face Koho. That's why I think Koho, with proper coaching, and I don't mean to be insulting to him. That's not something I don't claim to be the best, even though I am the best. But the whole thing is, like, if he would have just finely tuned, I honestly believe he won the last argument. So in my head right now, Caleb did win, but that's neither here nor there, But I think you have to not play to the judges, but you have to present it in a way that makes sense to everybody. And I think it was a fantastic performance from both. Again, Matthew Rosa on paper is still the hardest person I have ever had to debate. And this is why. Because he had the thing when he picks an answer, he is so knowledgeable with it, and it can get quite bad. It can get quite bad. So I think it was great. I can't wait to see Koho back against somebody else because that's going to be. And damn, Malcolm ripping off someone's afro and using it as a toilet brush. That was just the most trash talk I've ever heard from you. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You want to sign my petition? Okay. Good night.
All right, and to wrap things up, I know things got a little bit heated in the middle of this, but it's this passion that really drives myself. And running this league, a lot of times throughout almost this whole year, I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it anymore. You know, we don't have we're not getting the viewers, and then we have matches like this. We have matches like this. We have matches like Rosa versus Clark, both championship matches. Heads up, there have been matches throughout the year that keep that drive to keep doing this league, and this is one of those matches. I knew we were going to have a great debate from the get-go, and I believe, with the exception of a speed bump, this match lived up to the hype that it should have been. I hope this is one of our most viewed debates. I believe it deserves it, but I am excited to see where this goes. Although Cody likes to think that that you don't need music knowledge to debate well, you need to have substance for your presentations. You can. Well, I'll repeat it again. You can debate a turd, but it is still a turd. So I am going to thank all of our panelists for coming on today. We're going to start off with the winner today, Matthew Rosa. Matthew, where can the Jukebox heroes of the world find you?
You can find me on Twitter at OTYT Music. You can find my band at pretty much all other social media platforms at On the Tip of Your Tongue. You can find our cover of Drake Bell's I Found a Way on YouTube at On the Tip of Your Tongue. You can find our EP Songs About Debbie, which is coming out very soon. You can find our song My Song Better Half on Spotify, which is still creeping up on that plays chart all the time, and it's cool and it's fun, and yeah, that's basically it. You can find me writing questions here as always, and yeah, that's basically where you can find me. Oh, and on other trivia leagues, losing all the time, just constantly losing.
To our unfortunate loser today, Mr. Kaleb Koho, where can the Jukebox Heroes of the world find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaleb Koho. That's Kaleb with a K and then Koho. You can find me over at Multiplex Entertainment, hosting Fan Fight every Friday, Movie Warzone every Monday. Me and Jake have a new show on Thursdays coming soon. And check out Matt's song. It's awesome. I've listened to it at least 50 times. I really like Better Half. And you can find me on YouTube, I guess, Kaleb Koho and Koho Productions. I have a movie called Chick Part out there. It's free if you want to watch it. If you don't, cool, I don't care. It's fine. And you can find go ahead.
No, I was actually just gonna say go check out Shoot for Teams, Forks. Some really good rap music. Somebody who presents himself well. I think this is music they need to check out because we're all in one way aspiring artists, unless your name is Cody Newberry. Speaking of Cody Newberry, where can the Jukebox Heroes of the world find you?
All right, you can find me being the hate and disrespected in Jukebox because apparently 4-point gate. That the real documentary will come out of that match and the behind the scenes and the reason why it was only 4 points. You can find me tomorrow debating late night about wrestling as a 3-time champ. Congratulations over there, you 1-time champ that has never beat me. You can find me on Fridays, Full Metal Geek. I help run over there. I pretty much just host. On Sundays, you can find me as the old man in the corner, hating everybody's choices. If you didn't see the MCU, rank them. Good Lord, I was one pissed off human being. And you can find me as the advocate, the manager of Robert, the Hobbit Parker. He has a team match coming up, and he will soon be having a championship match coming up in Multiplex. So I stand by my person I manage. So Brooklyn, maybe you should do the same thing.
Riding on the coattails of your client, so that you can maintain relevancy. Malcolm Goldie Lay, where can the cool? I run 2 shows at Take 3, motherfucker. Malcolm Goldie Lay, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Take 3 Productions hosting Ranking every Sunday night. We had a great MCU one last night, and we go to have a Harrison Ford performance one next week. Also, you can find me competing in trivia on Full Metal Multiplex. You can also find me on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Malcor.
Right. And last but not least, I'm the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the real BK10, the number, not the words. You can also find me right here at the Productions, running not one but two shows. Jukebox Trivia on Mondays, where we do various music trivia, music trivia debate, and countdowns. Be sure to check out the episode that we are doing next week, where it is Luca taking on Brooklyn. But yeah, also on Thursdays I do Late Night Take 3, but because Americans like to celebrate Thanksgiving 5 weeks late, we're doing it on a Tuesday with favorite wrestlers or Survivor Series, you know what I mean. And you can also find me wherever there's good trivia. Multiplex Entertainment. I had a great Movie Warzone match against Matthew Rosa, and the great category that is Nicholas Sparks. You can also find me on Full Metal Random. I did a match last Wednesday on a Nintendo Iron Man match, which was a really, really good match. I was very impressed with my performance. And yeah, be sure to check out www.patreon.com/Schmodown. This league, this community does not exist without them. So they are doing some pretty cool things next year. So if you can, even just sharing the link is one of the more important things. Be sure to check out the other content on Take 3, Rank 'em, the reactions, the Reactor Summit, Watch Along, Rhyme and Reason dropped a really good Star Wars episode today as a two-parter. What other shows? Along with the Win. Am I missing any other Take 3 shows? I don't think I am.
Along with the Wind, it's Gone with the
Sorry,
Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
Moron.
This is why I don't compete in movie trivia a whole lot. I'm kind of like a groundhog. I just pop up once in a while, and if I see my shadow, then I play for 6 more months. All right. So once again, for Cody, for Kaleb Koho, for Malcolm Goldilay, for Matthew Rosa, I am the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale. Cheers, guys, and as always,